Yeah, absolutely. They should be worried. Derrick Henry, he's going to run downhill. He's going to be, that top guy on offense that the Titans need him to be. And, when the Kansas City Chiefs can't stop the run right now, as you can see, bottom tier in the National Football League, they're going to have some problems stopping the run. And that's just going to be what it is. But the thing for the Kansas City Chiefs, they just got to come out passing it like they do. They don't have the best rushing offense in the NFL, but they do have one of the top passing offenses still, and I'd take that over one of the top rushing offenses any day. And I just don't trust the Tennessee Titans secondary, as they shown to play well last week versus the Buffalo Bills. It was just one of those games, and I'm not taking any credit away from them, but this is a totally different animal in terms of the Kansas City Chiefs. So I do think the Chiefs should be concerned because their only focus will have to be stopping Derrick Henry. If they shut down Derrick Henry, then they got a legit shot at going on the road and beating the Tennessee Titans on the road.
Oh, they got more. I would say they have more than a legit shot, and I don't even know if they have to stop Derrick Henry. Listen, I think it'd be foolish for me to sit here and say I think the Chiefs can stop Derrick Henry. I know they did it in the AFC Championship game a couple years ago, but Henry somehow is either as good as he was right then or better, and this Chiefs defense is definitely at least a tick or two worse than it was a couple years ago. So I don't know that they're going to be able to duplicate that. But the Titans defense is horrible. And I think that it would be surprising, Broussard, if the Chiefs don't score 35. And it's hard to score 40 based on a running game. It's not impossible. We saw the Titans almost do it against the Bills, the vaunted Super Bowl favorite Buffalo Bills, before Josh Allen fell on his face. But it's very difficult to do. And so I think that what is likely to happen in this game, Broussard, is Derrick Henry will play well early, but he is a guy who tends to play his best late. And by the time they are most, he's usually taking over the game, the Titans are going to be forced to throw the football because it's going to be 31-21 because they're going to be trailing by more than a score. So this is not about my faith in the Chiefs being able to stop Derrick Henry. It's about my conviction that the Chiefs will score 4 out of 5 the first 5 times they have the ball. They'll score touchdowns 4 of those 5 possessions because the Titans' defense is so bad.
Well, Nick, I'm with you in that the best defense for Kansas City will be their offense. All right, and what they need to do is really slow down Henry early. And he, as you said, he gets better as the game goes on, so they have a good chance of doing that. All right, and then while they're slowing him down and keeping Tennessee from scoring, they're scoring. They get up 2 touchdowns, 17 points, something like that. And then to your point, Tennessee is going to have to throw the football to try to get in the game, and that's how you stop Derrick Henry. Now, you mentioned 2 years ago, 2019, when Kansas City won the Super Bowl, they did stop him in the playoffs, held him, I think, 69 yards. But in the regular season that year, Henry went wild against them, 188 yards and a victory. They won 35-32 over Kansas City that year, so they could win. If Kansas City doesn't come out early and put points on the board and get a little bit of a cushion and Tennessee doesn't have to throw the ball, they can just give it to Henry, this could be a long day for the Chiefs. Now, Chris Jones could be back. That'll help them, but if it's close and Henry's able to get the ball 25, 30 times, he's going to be well over 100 yards and give them a chance to win.
You want me to look in my crystal ball, Nicholas? I don't think you're going to like what you see. I think if the Titans come out and Derrick Henry scores very early, old Kansas City starts to get nervous. I know you guys act confident, but you're not. And that's why we see Patrick Mahomes stressing and pushing and pressing and try to make things happen. Do you know which team leads the NFL in giveaways? It's the Kansas City Chiefs. They're number 1 with 14. Number 2 is the mighty Jacksonville Jaguars with rookie Trevor Lawrence and his gigantic neck. So I think, Nick, despite all the press conferences that Mahomes will give and say, you know what, I'll take care of the ball. We're not worried about it. We know teams have a target on our back. We just got to play our game. The fact that they give the ball away so much proves to me that the team that Patrick Mahomes, while he's on offense, is thinking about the defense a little bit. In his mind, he has visions of Honey Badger going like this. Every game.
There's just not
I'll also go to Fox Bet. Put this the over under on Honey Badger. I'm putting it at 1.5.
Yeah. But so here's the thing. So in this last game, the Chiefs had 3 turnovers. One was a McCole Hardman fumble. That's not about Mahomes pressing. One was a perfect pass to Tyreek Hill that Tyreek just bobbled. That's not about Mahomes pressing. And then the one terrible Mahomes play that evidently is the only play we got the express written consent from the NFL to run on this show. But even though there were plenty of other plays. But you have brought up 2 Chiefs stats that I want to bounce one of them off Mike, because I told you last week when you were talking about the Chiefs defense, worst defense ever. And I said, that actually makes me feel better, because that is going to regress to the mean. They're not going to be a good defense, but they're not going to be the worst defense ever. Mike, when you hear that an Andy Reid-led team with Patrick Mahomes healthy leads the NFL in turnovers, is that to you more concerning for the team the rest of the year, or in an odd way reassuring, because they're not going to continue to turn the ball over 3 times a game? Or you can tell me, I'm just a guy from Kansas City who's trying to mind meld this into a positive. How do you look at the Chiefs' turnovers thus far?
Well, I think it's a couple things. I think, Patrick Mahomes, just like Wild said, when you know you have a defense that's not playing up to par, then you tend to start pressing on offense and trying to do a little bit more than you would do on a typical basis. And I just think that's where Kansas City is at right now. Everybody's pressing. Offense know that they have to score. You start to read the press clippings and all the things that's being written, and 90% of it is true. So you buy into that. But, in terms of Patrick and what he's doing, forcing balls and making some errant throws at times, things that we haven't seen him do, it's all because he's trying to score points. And I think as the season continues to go on, we've seen teams start out the season and be horrible in so many statistical categories, and then they clean it up. So I just got a feeling that I'm positive that this is what's going to happen with the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick won't continue to turn it over. The defense will start to get better and gain some confidence, as they go into weeks 7, 8, 9, which is typically what usually happens around the National Football League for the better teams, I should say.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.